Hey guys, I'm Tom the Tech Chap, and this is the brand new Infinix Note 12 VIP. Very important. And I have to be honest with you, when I test phones like this, which cram so much in for actually under $300, it really makes you think, why do you need to spend more? But first things first, let's get this unboxed. And that is over to you, Tom. Boom! Look at that, seamless editing. Hollywood magic right there, I'm sure you'll agree. Now on the back of the box we get some of the key specs of the Note 12 VIP. You can also see this is the 256 gig storage model along with 8 gigs of RAM. We also have some of the key specs on the front here, including that 120 watt charging, which I will show you later just how fast this charges. But I'll tell you what, the first thing I thought when I unboxed this was how premium this felt for the price. It kind of reminded me of another phone I recently reviewed, one that rhymes with TiVo and also costs like 3 times more. And it's also ridiculously thin. Now elsewhere in the box we have a protective case, which is always welcome, as well as stickers and an invitation to Infinix's social club. We also get a pair of earphones, which is a nice little bonus, as well as a USB-C to USB-A cable, and of course this 120 watt fast charger. Considering you don't even get a charger in the box with a lot of phones these days, this is really good to see. Now this packs in a lot of tech, but before anything else, we have to talk about the charging, because this is the world's thinnest phone that supports fast 120 watt charging. Now Infinix claim you can fully charge the Note 12 Pro VIP in just 17 minutes from 0 to 100%. And well, I want to put that to the test, and straight away you can see we've got this kind of nifty charging animation, but already just 2.5 minutes into this test, we're already at 21%, which is pretty crazy actually. And then at 5 minutes, we're up to 41%. Then at 10 minutes, we're almost 3/4 of the way there at 73%. And we're so close, 95% at the 15-minute mark. But look at that, just 16 minutes, 20 seconds to fully charge the phone. So this was actually faster in my real-world test than Infinix's claimed 17 minutes. Not too shabby, just over 16 minutes to fully charge this, and it costs under $300. And you get the Charge It bundle in the box. You don't see that very often. So this speed is only possible because we have a dual cell battery inside. It's a 4500 mAh battery, which is a little bit smaller than the Infinix 12, which I tested a few months ago, but we do have much faster speeds. But just as importantly as the speed, Infinix are putting a lot of emphasis into the safety and also the longevity of the battery, which is why they've added 103 different protection features, and also they use materials with the charging that are uncorrosive, and there's also 18 different thermal sensors that monitor the phone's temperature in real time to make sure that nothing is overheating. And actually, they've tested this in over 800 charging cycles, and even after that, it still retained 85% of its battery. So even if you charge this once a day for over 2 years, you're still going to have most of your battery left, which is particularly impressive because that's comparable with other phones on the market, but that have much slower charging. All in a phone that's just 7.89 millimeters thick, and also it weighs just 189 grams, which is pretty incredible actually given the fact we have this big 6.7-inch screen. So let's talk about this display, because again, keeping that price in mind, about $299, we're getting this 6.7-inch Full HD Plus 120Hz AMOLED screen. And we're also getting 360Hz touch sampling, which makes gaming, or indeed just any touch input, feel more responsive. The bezels are nice and thin with this small hole punch cutout at the top for the selfie camera. Around the back, we have this big camera module with a triple lens setup, and also this nice contrast between the glossy and matte finishes. On the right side, we have the power button, which doubles as a fingerprint reader, as well as the volume rocker. We're also getting stereo speakers and a 3.5mm headphone jack. And if I pop open the SIM card tray, you can see we get dual SIM and micro SD card support. So I've actually been playing a bit of Apex Legends, which is now on the Google Play Store, and I've got to say it ran well. It was a really good gaming experience. The MediaTek Helio G96 is not by any means the fastest chip on the market, but it is surprisingly capable, and even these latest AAA games run really nicely. And of course, with that 360Hz touch response and in games that support 120Hz, it's a really nice, smooth experience. What I would recommend doing though is jumping into the settings menu and then scrolling down to special function where we have lots of different modes, and then in memory fusion you can see that we have this virtual RAM option which takes some of the storage and then boosts the RAM when it needs it, particularly for speeding up apps that you regularly use. Now by default this is set to 3 gigs, but I've changed it to 5 gigabytes because I don't really need all that storage, especially as we also have that microSD support. Also, while you're gaming, you can swipe in to open up the Game Center, which is where you can turn on screen recording, turn off notifications, and actually, I think most importantly, you can even assign the volume buttons to whatever you like in the game, perhaps looking down your sight or reloading your gun, so we're essentially getting a proper shoulder trigger for gaming. Okay, let's talk about this camera. And we're getting a 108 megapixel main lens with a 1/6.7-inch sensor and also uses 9:1 pixel binning. So again, considering the price, this is actually quite impressive, and that's alongside a 13 megapixel ultra-wide lens and also a 2 megapixel depth lens, and in good light, I think it does a pretty good job. Here are some snaps I've taken over the last few days as I've been using and testing the Note 12 VIP, and I've come away pleasantly surprised, although one criticism I do have is the video, the stabilization. Even at 1080p, it's pretty shaky, so that is one thing I'd like to see improved next time. Now, while we are talking room for improvement, there is still quite a lot of bloatware on the phone, pre-installed apps, but you can always just remove them or hide them. And I do also appreciate that actually helps Infinix keep the cost of the phone a little bit lower because they make some money from that. And also, as I say, the battery has shrunk from 5,000 mAh on the Infinix 12 to 4,500. We do, of course, get the much faster charging while still in a nice thin chassis, but as I say, a big battery is always nicer as well. But having said that, let's take a step back for a second. $300, thereabouts, for a 6.7-inch, 120Hz AMOLED screen with a high touch sampling rate, with a triple camera setup, 108 megapixel main lens, micro SD card and dual SIM, headphone jack, fast charger in the box. In fact, this is the world's thinnest 120-watt charging phone, as well as up to 8 gigs of RAM plus the memory fusion to boost it, up to 256 gigs of storage, and also a pretty nice looking design. Obviously we don't have 5G, the G96 chip doesn't support it, and also it's not the fastest processor in the world, but it's still pretty capable. I still think on the whole this is one of the best value phones you can buy. And if you do fancy checking this out for yourself, then I'll leave a link in the description below, and if you've got any questions at all, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching guys, and I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.